What is up, everyone? It's David. Welcome back to Gem Mint MTG, where I talk about graded Magic the Gathering cards. Today is going to be a fun day. We're going to take a trip down memory lane, and I'm going to show you my collection of Kaladesh Invention masterpieces. I've been buying these for a number of years. I absolutely love these cards. I have quite a collection of them, and I wanted to show everybody my collection and talk about why I like the cards, how I got them, how I got into them, all that fun stuff. So, getting things started off here, let's use this as our first example, the Kaladesh Invention swords. So this is 3 of the sword. This is the Feast and Famine, the Fire and Ice, and the Sword of War and Peace. So there's 5 swords, obviously. I have 3 of them. I'm hoping to get the rest of the swords soon. I graded all of these myself. I want to grade all of them on my own. I've graded a lot of these myself, and I want to finish the collection of swords on my own. But I just absolutely love Kaladesh Inventions. I think they're some of the most beautiful Magic cards ever made. I don't see Wizards ever reprinting them. I really hope that they don't. I think that cards like this are in kind of like a pseudo reserve list of their own. They're just very, very special to me, and I think to the game. I think they when they came out, they just blew people away, myself included. It's kind of a funny story. I had taken a bit of a break from Magic the Gathering for a couple of years. I had moved for work and I was kind of having some personal stuff that I was going through, and I had kind of taken a break from Magic and I was focusing on work, and I was living away in another state, and I had taken a break from Magic for a while. And like everybody else, when you quit Magic, eventually you find your way back. And at that point in my life, I there was just a point where I wanted to do something fun and something to kind of get me out of the house. And I found a local gaming store not too far from where I was living in Kentucky at the time. And I decided to check it out. So I started going there for F&M during the Kaladesh block. And I had not played Magic for a few years at that point. And I remember sitting down at F&M one night, and somebody played one of these cards. It was actually one of the ones that that I'll show you later. But somebody played a Kaladesh Invention, and I had never seen cards like this before. I had never seen a Kaladesh Invention before. And he put it down, he put it on the table, and I couldn't even believe what I was looking at. I had never seen anything like it, and it just completely blew my mind. And I wanted one. I was like, I gotta have I gotta have one of these. This is the coolest thing I had ever seen. And at that time, Magic did not have, the showcase, the foil, the extended art, borderless, all that stuff, was relatively, it wasn't really a part of the game like it is now. And so this type of treatment on the card, it just absolutely blew me away, and I just thought it was so beautiful and special. And the Kaladesh Invention, actually, this was the first card that I ever purchased as a graded Magic card, was actually this card, the Kaladesh Invention Sword of Fire and Ice. I got home from that F&M and I went on eBay and I saw a PSA 8 Kaladesh Invention Sword of Fire and Ice. And I saw the card, and I thought to myself, I at that point, I did not have any graded cards. I barely knew anything about it. I had no intention of starting to collect graded Magic the Gathering cards. I just saw it. I saw it in the slab, and I looked at the artwork and the card. I had never seen the Sword of Fire and Ice before. Um, it was actually the Mox invention that I saw in person. But I saw this card, and I I had to have it, and so I bought it, and that was the first graded Magic card I ever had, and so it kind of holds a special place for me, just in terms of like this the beauty of the card, and then also, it's kind of what got me back into Magic at what was, kind of like a not so good point in my life. It kind of turned things around for me and got me back into the game and got me back with old friends and doing things that I enjoy, and it just so they just hold a really special place for me, and I really love them. So that's how I got into collecting these. The first one I bought was in, I think that was in, it was shortly after Kaladesh came out in like 2016, 2017, and I've been buying them ever since. This is the Sword of Feast and Famine. These are all in BGS 9 condition. Absolutely beautiful card. And the Sword of War and Peace. Yeah, I want to collect all 5 of the swords. It's just something that's kind of special to me. I still need the Sword of Body and Mind and the Sword of Light and Shadow. So let's move on to the next card here. We have the Mana Vault. This is a PSA 9. Absolutely stunning. Love that artwork. It's so cool. Mana Vault is such a cool card. Yeah, these Kaladesh Inventions, there's just, in terms of like, those high-powered artifacts that you use in Commander and Modern and formats like that, there's nothing beats the Kaladesh Invention, in my opinion. The artwork, the treatment, the border, the coloring, the foiling, it's just absolutely beautiful. This is Aether Vile. This is a 9 quad plus. Really nice subgrades on this one. Absolutely beautiful. And another thing with Aether Vile, this card, I thought that these cards were like CGI artwork. I don't know why. I thought that they were like CGI artwork. And then I saw the original artwork for this card, the Aether Vile. And I was like, oh my God, these are actual paintings. It blew me away that someone could paint this. God, they're so cool. So cool. This is the next one, Crucible of Worlds in BGS 9.5 condition. So I actually graded this one myself. This was one of the ones that I got back in my last one of my last BGS orders. So I was really happy to get 9.5 that I graded on my own. This is another one with the blue. When you see this in person and you see the foiling and the border, the way that the foiling is on this card, it's just so stunning to look at. Really love the artwork on the Crucible of Worlds. That's one of my favorite ones. Now, let's take a look at this. This is really cool. Check this out. So this is 2 Chrome Moxes. BGS 9.5 and a PSA 10. Absolutely stunning. The Moxes are just they're all amazing, but the Moxes especially, just they look so cool. The artwork is so cool on these. And I remember at the time, getting this PSA 10. This was years ago now. I'm still buying them, I'm still grading them, but I got this one a while ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago. And at that time, people did not appreciate these. This was not a very valuable card at all. In fact, they had declined in value considerably. And the graded ones, especially grading cards like this, was not that popular. In fact, there was a lot of people who publicly shunned grading cards like this. And for me, I didn't understand it at the time. I certainly don't understand that now. And I think that things have turned around, with that mindset. But when I was buying these, I got a lot of these on auctions, and no one was bidding on them. Nobody wanted them. I did, obviously. Obviously, I wanted them. I loved them. I felt like they were underappreciated, and that one day, people would realize just how special these are. Fortunately, that's worked out pretty well. But I think it just goes to show you a couple of things. people have kind of gone back and forth on grading, quote unquote newer cards, and a lot of people don't think it's worth it, or think that it's stupid or whatever. I just disagree with that, but I think it goes to show you, yeah, I'm a big fan of grading newer cards. I grade new cards all the time, and because I think that new is always relative. What's new now is not going to be new in 5 to 10 years. It took 5 years or so for these to really be appreciated as much as they are today. And I think the same thing is going to happen. It happens all the time with Magic. When cards come out and they're really iconic and they're really special, they age well. And I don't think it matters whether they're new or old sometimes. Even newer cards can retain or grow in value considerably, and that's certainly happened with these Kaladesh inventions. Let's take a look at this next one. So we've got another duo, another 9.5 and a PSA 10. This is the Mox Opal. This is the card that I saw in person at FNM. It was the Mox Opal. This card. This card is just absolutely beautiful. I know that there is like this theory. I've read on the internet a whole bunch of times that there is like different versions of Kaladesh Inventions depending on the printing facility, that some have different foiling than others. I have a lot of Kaladesh Inventions, raw and graded. I have not seen that personally. The way that they did these borders, how they all have that kind of bronze look to them, they're just absolutely beautiful. And this PSA 10 Opal is just awesome. And this is just like the Chrome Mox. When I was picking these up, these were 150, 200, 250 a card. For the PSA 10 and the BGS 9.5, and now you can't even find a raw one for those prices. And so it just goes to show you, new is always relative. And if you really love a card and you think it's special and you think it has a good future, sometimes it is definitely worth it to go with that. This is the last one that we're going to go over today, and this is definitely you know the biggest one of the collection, and that is, of course, the Manicrypt. Look at this. This is a PSA 10 Kaladesh Invention Manicrypt. This is the most valuable of the Kaladesh Inventions. Soul Ring is also up there. I actually not sure about which one is worth more at this point. I'll have to go take a look. But the Manicrypt is certainly up there. And I remember this card also. You would think that a card like this, you look at it now and, oh my gosh, it's so valuable. But at that time, I got this PSA 10 for, I think it was 700. And I remember at the time, the people bidding on it, it was at like $500 or something. And I absolutely had to have it. I remember being in that auction, and I think I bid $2,000. I just threw something up there crazy because I said, you know what, I don't really care how much it is. However much someone else is willing to pay, I'm willing to pay more. Wherever that shakes out, so be it. So I bet I bid something absurd like 2 grand, and in the end, the auction ended at like 700. And now I don't even think you can find these raw for less than 7, 8, 900. They're very expensive, and ones in PSA 10 condition are obviously worth a lot more than that. And I think I got at the time that was not a good deal. At the time, there was no one else in the world who was willing to pay more for this card than me. But I had faith in the card. I felt like they had a good future, and I just felt like it was a really special type of card that was going to age really well over the years. And that's proven to be true. So Really cool. So these are my Kaladesh inventions. I actually have a few more that are getting graded right now, and I have a whole bunch more that are raw. These are just the ones that I've graded or purchased graded, and then I've got, like I said, I got some more coming. But that is my Kaladesh invention collection. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this. I hope that it's given you some insight into why I collected these, and what I think about these in the future. And I think they're going to age really well. I think these are really special cards that, for me, they hold a really special place, and they're very valuable to me, in terms of their actual financial value, and then just in terms of like their personal value, and kind of what they mean to me, and it's what got me into grading. As silly as it sounds, you know, this was the card. Had I not bought that PSA 8 Sword of Fire and Ice, I don't think I would have ever, maybe I would have never even started collecting graded cards. But it was just a special type of card, and I didn't even want to. I didn't even want to. I knew I didn't want to play with the card. I just saw it in the slab, and I said, I don't even want this card to play with. I just want to look at it, and so that's how it all started. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, have a great one.